my fellow Earthlings. It is Kaci Whirley. I'm going to be guiding you through a Vinyasa flow today. All you'll need to get started is a strap. If you don't have a strap, not to worry. You can use a towel or a t-shirt. We're going to find ourselves in child's pose, knees spread wide, arms out long. If at any time during your practice you need to rest, child's pose is the perfect pose to come back to. We're going to set our breath for the practice. In yoga, there's a breathing technique called Ujjayi breath. Long inhale through the nose, loud open mouth sigh on your exhale, slight constriction in the back of your throat. Let's try a few cycles together. This breathing technique is also called the ocean breath because it mimics the sound of the ocean on our exhales. Keeping our inhales and exhales equal in duration, we'll try to maintain this breath throughout our practice. When you're ready, we'll come up into a tabletop position, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists, spine is long and neutral. Drop your stomach, lift your gaze. We're going to do a few cat-cows to warm up the spine, pushing through the heels of the hands. Take any additional stretches that you need. We're going to walk the hands forward, tuck the toes, lift the hips, come into downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet, coming up on your toes. Taking any stretches that you need here. Look forward at your hands, walk to the front of the mat. Bring your feet about hip distance apart, coming to ragdoll position. Bend the knees, hinge at the hips. Cross your hands at your elbows. Let your head hang, unclench your jaw. Focus on your breath. Bring your hands to the mat, heel toe your feet back together, come into a forward fold, straightening the legs if it feels okay. Extend through the spine, come up to halfway lift, then fold back down into a forward fold. Inhale, rise up to mountain, palms facing each other. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, dive down into a forward fold, hinging at the hips, releasing the head. Hands on the mat, send the feet back. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Any side stretches you need. Send the hips back, downward facing dog. Coming back to our breath, we're going to inhale and send the right leg up into three-legged dog, rolling out the ankle. We're going to bend the knee and stack the hips. Open up the hips, welcoming the stretch. We're going to send our right leg through to high plank into a side crunch. Right knee to right elbow. Keeping our core in and strong. Send it back up into three-legged dog. We're going to bring it through right knee to left elbow. Pushing through the heels of your hands. Send your foot back up into three-legged dog. Send it back through into high lunge. Inhale your hands up. Scooping the hips up towards your face. Keeping your back leg straight. Core is in. You can send the left hand up and over for a deeper stretch. remembering to tuck the pelvis. We're going to come into Warrior Two. Square your hips to the side. Send your left foot down to the ground. Hands are strong. Gazes over your right shoulder. Try to bring your thigh parallel to the ground. Focus on your breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, slight constriction in the back of your throat. Flip your right palm up, send your left hand down your left leg, reaching up and over, come into reverse warrior, feeling the side stretch. Bring your right hand down to your right knee, left hand goes up, looking up if your neck allows it. Bringing your thigh parallel to the ground, hips are still squared to the side. Twisting to the other side, bring your left hand down, send your right hand up, opening up to the right side. Focus on your breath. Releasing your right hand down to the mat, send your foot back. Chaturanga, Cobra or upward facing dog. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. You guessed it, we're going to switch sides. Inhale, bring the left leg up into three-legged dog. Roll out the ankle. We're going to bend the knee. Open up through the hips. Keep your shoulders squared to the mat. We're going to bring our leg through into the side crunch, left knee to left elbow, pushing up through the heels of our hands, engaging our core, maintaining our breath. Send the foot back into three-legged dog. We're going to bring the left knee to the right elbow, using our core for the twist. Holding it for 3, 2, 1. Send your leg back, three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale all the way out. Bring your leg through into high lunge between your hands. Inhale your hands up, scooping your hips up towards your face. Tailbone is tucked. Bringing your right hand up and over. Core is engaged. Maintain your breath. Coming into Warrior Two, plant your right foot on the ground, squaring your hips to the side. Bring your arms out long, looking over your left shoulder. Shoulders are relaxed and away from ears. Bringing your thigh parallel to the ground, engaging your quads, opening up your hips. Focus on steadying your breath, making your inhales and exhales equal in duration. Flip your left palm up to the ceiling, right hand goes down the right leg. Reach up and over into reverse warrior. Feeling your side stretch. Bringing your left elbow down to your left knee, send your right hand up, looking up if your neck allows it. Grounding down through both of your feet. Engage your core. Inhale through your nose. Exhale all the way out. Twisting to the other side, bring your right hand down to the mat, sending your left hand up to the sky, reaching out through your fingertips. Engage your core, looking up if your neck allows it. Coming back to your breath. To finally release, bring your left hand down to the mat, send your left leg back. Chaturanga, up dog or cobra. Push away from the floor, send the hips back. Downward facing dog. Pedal at your feet if you need. Inhale all the way in. Exhale all the way out. Look forward at your hands. Walk or hop to the front. Hinge at the hips. Forward fold. Release the neck. Ground down through your feet. Inhale and rise up to mountain. Exhale, sink down into chair. Hinge at the hips. Weight is in your heels. Core is in. Shoulders are relaxed and away from ears. Make sure that your pelvis is tucked and that you're not rounding at the spine. Sink a little bit deeper, engaging your quads, your glutes. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out, slight constriction in the back of your throat. One more. Inhale all the way in. Exhale all the way out. Release, fold down into a forward fold. Hands coming to the mat, hinging at the hips. Bend your knees if you need to. Inhale to halfway lift. Neutral spine, lengthen out through the crown of your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to mountain, palms facing each other. Exhale all the way out. Inhale, bring your left knee up. Exhale, hinging forward at the hips. Send the right leg back into warrior 3, keeping your core engaged, rooting down through your left foot. Use your breath to steady you. Release when you're ready. We're going to switch sides. Inhale, bring your hands up. Exhale all the way out. Inhale, bring your left knee up. Send it back, hinge forward at the hips, keeping your hips squared to the ground. Use your breath and your core to steady you. Release to the ground when you're ready. Next, we're going to come into a yogi squat. Bring your feet out wide, toes pointing out about 45 degrees. Make sure your spine is not rounding over. Shoulders are relaxed and away from ears. Bring your hands to the mat for a crow prep. Bring your knees to your triceps. We're going to lift up through our core, lift up on our toes, spread the weight evenly throughout our hands, our fingers and palms. Have our gaze a little bit in front of our fingertips. We'll now alternate lifting one leg up at a time, using your core to lift, pointing your toes, focusing on your breath. Just a few more. Now you can release. Plant your hands on the ground, send your feet back. Chaturanga. Opening up through the heart. Tuck the toes, send the hips back. Downward facing dog. Big inhale here. Exhale all the way out. Coming into pigeon pose. Bring the right leg through, squaring your hips to the front. staying up if that is in your practice, hinging forward at the hips if you need a deeper stretch. Focus on lengthening out through the crown of your head. We're going to stay here for several breaths. Gently come back up to a neutral position. Plant your hands on the ground. Send your right leg back into downward facing dog. We're going to switch sides. Pigeon on the left, swinging the leg through, squaring the hips to the front, hinging forward at the hips, keeping the spine long if that is in our practice. Knowing however we show up today, it is more than enough. We're going to gently release, bringing our legs together. We're going to now come into a seated straddle. Bring your legs as wide as possible, knees pointing slightly back, making sure you're sitting up straight and not slumped over. We're going to inhale and bring both of our hands up. Exhale, bring the left hand up and over. Feeling the stretch in our side body, breathing space in our lower back. We're going to switch sides, come back up to neutral. Inhale, bring your hands back up. On your exhale, reaching over to the left with your right hand. Breathing space in your side body. Focusing on your breath. We're going to release and come back up to neutral. Now coming into a wide-legged forward fold. The goal of this pose is to keep your spine straight while hinging at the hips. Hold at any level that serves you. Remembering you should never push yourself to the point of pain, but I invite you to lean into discomfort. Wherever that hold may look for you, find the spot of discomfort and focus on your breath. Breathe oxygen into the muscles being stretched. Go ahead and release. Come back up to neutral. Bring your legs together, feet touching. We're going to come into a butterfly pose or bound angle. Hinging at the hips, keeping your spine straight. You can push your knees down with your elbows, or you can reach your hands out in front of you for a deeper stretch. All right, we shall release. Now we're going to be using this strap, t-shirt, towel, whatever you have, to be doing some shoulder rotations to open up the shoulders, chest, back, Grab whatever item you have, holding it at the distance that works for you. Focusing on your breath. Making sure your movements are slow and controlled. These are probably one of my favorite warm-ups. It's important to have a good range of motion to prevent injury and decrease pain. And this is a good way to stretch your chest, your shoulders, and even your back. Bear with me, just a couple more. Go ahead and release. We're going to be coming into a shoulder stretch on our left. Grabbing the strap with our right hand, we're going to bring our left arm behind our head, holding our right arm out to the right, or at any level, finding that spot of discomfort, remembering backing off if it's pain. Hold at any level that works for you, and focus on your breath. Now we will switch sides. Right arm goes behind the head, left arm pulls the strap down or out to the left, whatever works for you. Finding the spot of discomfort, but backing off if you're in pain. All right, you feel the animals, go ahead and put your prop away. We're going to come into our final chest and shoulder stretch. Bring your hands back in a seated position. Come up into a slight back bend, tilting your chin up if your neck allows it. Open up through your chest. Come back to your breath. Go ahead and release. We're going to come into a bridge pose. Lie on your back, feet on the floor. We're going to push up through our heels, lifting our hips up to the sky. Try to come up on your shoulders and inch your hands towards your feet. Slowly bring your hips back down to the mat. You can come into a counter pose, bring your knees up to your chest, sway side to side. You can either do bridge again or you can try wheel. Place your hands by your ears, lifting up your hips, driving through your heels, extending your arms up. Come into a back bend. Breathing space in your spine. This is where a good range of motion in your shoulders will come in handy. To release, slowly bend your arms and lower yourself to the ground. Come into a counter pose, bringing your knees to your chest, or a variation of plow like I'm trying to do now. We're going to lie down on our mat, bring our right knee up to our chest. Coming into a supine twist, we're going to send it over to the left, keeping our shoulders on the ground, twisting from the core. On your inhale, focus on lengthening up through your spine. On your exhale, focus on twisting a little deeper. Coming back into a neutral position, we're going to switch sides. Send the right leg down, bring the left leg up. We're going to send it over to the right, keeping our shoulders on the ground, twisting from the core, focusing on our breath. Come back to a neutral position. We're going to come into a happy baby pose. Bring your knees towards your armpits, grabbing onto your feet. Push your feet up into your hands to create resistance, and slightly tilt your chin forward to protect your neck. From here, we're going to curl up into a ball. Bring your knees to your chest, forehead to your knees, before releasing all the way down into our final pose, Shavasana. Clear your mind, steady your breath. Relax all the muscles in your face, unclench your jaw, and just focus on being still. Begin to wiggle your toes, move your fingers, bring your arms up overhead for a big stretch. Flex your feet, bring your knees up towards your chest, send them to the right, coming into the fetal position on your side. From here, we're going to bring our hands to the ground, pushing up into a seated position. Sitting up tall, shoulders are relaxed. I want you to put on your best smile, even if you don't mean it, even if you feel silly. Tilt your chin up, close your eyes. Put on your best smile, and let's share a moment of gratitude. It's a privilege to be able to move our body like we just did. Hands come to heart center. Together we bow. Namaste. Thank you so much.